Hi everyone, my name is Maddie and welcome back to Telequarium with the Alaska Sea Life Center. So, today I am going to be leading you in some stretches while teaching you about a very special day, World Migratory Bird Day. So happy World Migratory Bird Day, everyone. Before we get started, I did want to provide some context for today. So in 1993, the Smithsonian Migratory Bird Center created International Migratory Bird Day, and since 2007, it has been coordinated by Environment for the Americas, which is a nonprofit organization that strives to connect people to bird conservation. Now, this later transitioned into what is now World Migratory Bird Day, which is a global conservation education campaign that celebrates and brings attention to one of the most important events in America, which is bird migration. We have a lot of migratory birds here in our backyard in Seward, Alaska, and I'm sure that you do too. And we would love it if you all would take some pictures of your birds in your backyard and share them with us on social media. But we do hope that you'll find bird migration and bird conservation as exciting and important as we do. And without further ado, feel free to relax with some stretching while learning about some bird migration patterns.
Hi everyone, my name is Maddie and welcome back to another Telequarium with the Alaska Sea Life Center. We also might have a special guest that might pop in. My dog Rory is in the room with us. But we are going to be stretching today like I have in the past. So previously with some stretching sessions, I've also told some jokes that go with a certain theme. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit today. Today is Migratory Bird Day. So I'm going to be teaching you about migratory birds and what Migratory Bird Day is, while also taking us through some relaxing stretches. So before we get started, of the more than 650 species of birds in North America, over half of them are migratory. So there are a ton of migratory bird species in here, and we're going to talk about what that means, why they migrate, how long they migrate for, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So we are going to take a big stretch up to begin, and then we'll take a deep breath out, and we're going to start by stretching our arms. So go ahead and take your left arm and pull it across your body, and you should be feeling it in your shoulder, right in front of you. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides. So some of you might be wondering, why do birds migrate? And essentially, they are migrating from areas of lower levels of resources to higher levels of resources, and those resources are primarily going to be food and nesting areas. So they travel to different areas, and the lengths definitely vary depending on the birds, but they are trying to go to areas with more resources during different times of the year. And like I said, those resources are going to be food, or it's going to be nesting areas. So while we're standing up, we're going to take our arm and we're going to put it behind our head to kind of stretch out your tricep. And then we'll go ahead and switch sides as well. All right. So from this point, we're going to go ahead and kind of spread our legs a little bit, and then we're going to put our hand on our hip and then reach over and feel it in your side. So there are some birds that are permanent residents, so they stay in one place all year round because they get everything that they need. But then there are birds that only migrate really, really short distances. And that short distance could be, I'm going to go ahead and reach up, as short as from a higher elevation to a lower elevation on the mountainside. So within the same mountain, they're really just changing elevation, and that counts as migration for them. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and bend down, and then we'll walk forward, and then from this point, we're going to stretch out our calves a little bit. So go ahead and pop up and push your feet one at a time, kind of pedal back and forth, and stretch out your calves a little bit. And then from here, we'll go ahead and pop down. And so now we're going to stretch out our wrists. So from this seated position, you can bring your hands in front of you and just kind of turn your hands facing backwards and stretch it out. And so you can also move your hands in different directions and just kind of get different stretches going on. And then from here you can also do a seal and cat stretch. So to start with the cat stretch, you just kind of push your shoulders down, and then you can quickly transition into seal, which is going to be pushing your hips down. And so this kind of stretches out your abdomen a little bit. And Rory would like to join us. And then we'll pop up, and then we will sit down, and we are going to reach for our toes. So some birds migrate only a very short distance, but some medium distance migrants are going to cover distances that span from about 1 to maybe several states. So not the longest distance of migration that you might ever see a bird do, but definitely not the shortest. And then after stretching this out a little bit, we're going to sit up and then bring our feet together, and then we can stretch out our legs in a butterfly stretch. And so then their long distance birds are going to be moving from breeding ranges. They can go anywhere from the US and Canada, and they can travel all the way to Central and South America, and travel these really, really long distances. So from here, go ahead and put your hands behind you, and then we're going to stretch out our shoulders a little bit by inching forward. And then after this feels like a good stretch, you can rotate your hands and stretch them in a different direction. And then we're going to come back up, and we're going to sit in this straddle position. So we are broadcasting from Alaska. We're in Seward, Alaska at the Alaska Sea Life Center. And Alaska is home to about 470 species of birds, most of which are migratory, which is really cool. So we're going to go ahead and stretch out our side this way. And then we'll switch sides. So some of our birds do stay in Alaska year-round, but some of them do migrate. They might migrate to Canada, but once again, some of them do migrate all the way to South America, some even to Asia. They go these really, really impressive distances. We're also going to do 2 hands to one side, and then 2 hands to the other side. And what's really cool is that birds that migrate from Alaska travel through virtually every other state in the United States during their travels. And then go ahead and reach directly down the middle. All right, we're gonna pop back up. And then we're gonna stretch out our Achilles a little bit by just kind of sitting and trying to push your heels to the ground, which is always a bit of a challenge for me. And then once again, we're going to come up into this forward fold. And then we're going to slowly come up. And from here, we're going to stretch out our necks a little bit. So carefully just kind of lean your neck to one side, and then drag it across the bottom to the other, and then backwards. So we're going to take one last deep breath in, and then another deep breath out. So, like I said, today is Migratory Bird Day, which was established in 1993, and it is still being celebrated, and it is to encourage people to learn more about the conservation of birds. So we will definitely be sharing some information about migratory birds and what you can do to help conserve and help with the conservation of these various migratory species. But once again, my name is Maddie. Thank you so much for stretching with me today, and I hope that you can get outside and catch some birds in your area. If you do, go ahead and take some pictures, share them with us on social media, and let us know. But thank you for tuning in to Telequarium with the Alaska Sea Life Center, and we hope you have a lovely rest of your day.